welcome back to Exploit Security. I am your host, Scott Anderson, and today we're going to be doing a dive into some more Capture the Flag challenges. Now, what I really like about Capture the Flag is it helps build upon those required skills and that critical thinking pattern needed to be successful as a penetration tester and just as a cybersecurity professional in general. So if you do like the content, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy. Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Exploit Security. I am your host, Scott Anderson, and today we are going to be jumping back into some more CTF challenges, specifically OverTheWire Natas Level 4. So if you haven't seen my previous video where I worked my way through level 0 all the way up into a 4, I advise you to definitely check those out. There's some pretty good content in there. Before we get started, I do want to make a quick announcement. This video will show the solution, so it's best to use the video only if you're really stuck. I strongly encourage you to try to find the solution on your own and kind of work your way through it. Definitely a big facet of being a penetration tester and just a cybersecurity professional in general is learning how to use Google, learning how to reference some of those hints or Easter eggs or indicators that you're seeing, and learning how to use OSINT or open source intelligence to try to discover the answer on your own. With that being said, I 100% understand that sometimes you just hit a point where you're completely stuck, and no matter what level of research you're doing, you're just not able to find the answer. And that's kind of what these videos are really based on. So definitely pay attention to the process and workflow. Don't just look for that answer, kind of start trying to pick up and absorb my thinking pattern, if you will, and it will definitely help you along the way in the future challenges. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So I wanted to start this video off with Natas 4, mostly because now I get to introduce another tool, which is Burp Suite. It is free. There is a community edition that you can use. I'm going to show you how to do just the basic setup using an extension and then using Burp Suite, the tool. So you'll see me jump over there here shortly. If you do have any issues with using Burp Suite, let me know in the comments below. I'll go ahead and create a video just kind of on the initial download and setup. I know there's sometimes an issue with certificates that you have to do. More than happy to make some video content for that as well. So just let me know in the comments section. So as you can see right now, we have Natas level 4 pulled up. And if you look at my extensions in the top right, you can see I have one called Foxy Proxy. You can just install it as an extension. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to configure that proxy on port 8080. You can see that I have one for port 8080. I also have another one for 9050, which is for something else completely different. We may get into doing proxies through SSH down the road, but for now we're going to focus on that Burp Suite 8080. So first thing you want to do is you just want to go ahead and enable this. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull up Burp Suite, and I'm just going to jump over to it. And you should be able to see Burp on the screen right about now. And you can see that I'm on the proxy tab. That's primarily what we're going to be using. In most cases, you can get away with just using this. Of course, there's some other features as well, which we may dive into as we kind of work our way through these levels. But for the time being, we can just go ahead, jump over to Burp. And what I want to do is I want to turn that intercept on. And basically what the intercept does is it stops the traffic before it is routed to server side. So whenever you refresh the page, load a page, it's basically going to get caught in Burp. And then at that point, you can go ahead and make any changes before sending that over to the server side. So we have that pulled up. The intercept is on. I'm going to jump back over to Firefox. You can see again in the top right corner, the proxy is enabled for Burp. That's going to ensure that it does go to Burp Suite. Now for Natas 4, the first thing we're really going to do is just hit that refresh page. And when we hit that refresh page, I'm going to jump back over to Burp. You can see that that GET request gets captured right? So at this point in time, the request has not made it to the server. So it's basically being held by burp. And this is where we can go in and make any changes as necessary. So I'm going to go ahead, jump back over because there are a couple hints that I do want to show you on the Nata side. So bear with me here. But you can see that the hint or the description says access disallowed. You are visiting from Natas 4, while authorized users should only come from Natas 5, right? So when I see that, I'm thinking of the refer as part of a request, right? Or a web request. And this just indicates what the previous site or source that you are originating from when you do travel there. So again, very, very basic vulnerability that we're getting into, but they're really trying to teach you how to effectively change or alter a HTTP request, right? And in this case, it's a GET request. So basically we're saying, feed us the information for Natas 4 and display it on the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that HTTP Natas 5 all the way down. So everything within that quotation, you just want to go ahead and copy. And then I'm just going to jump back over to burp. Let's see if this works. So I have burp pulled up, and you can see here on line 9, there is a refer section. And it is saying, indeed, just like what we saw on the web page itself, it does say that we are coming from Natas 4. So we're going to try to trick the server into thinking that we are coming from Natas 5. So using that URL that we just copied, we're just going to highlight that whole value for the Natas 4 on the refer line. And we're just going to delete that, and then we're going to paste in that Natas 5. Now remember, since we have the intercept on, that means the request is still being held by burp. So once we make that change, the next thing we want to do is we just want to hit that forward option. That's basically going to release that request and send it over to the server. So I just hit that. And then just to show you the result, I'm going to jump back over to the web browser, and you can see here, in this case, access has been granted. The password for Natas 5 is ON35, yada, yada. So again, let's go ahead and just ensure that is the correct credential. Some of those CTF challenges like to do a lot of false flags. It's been a while since I've done Natas, but I don't remember them having any false flags in here. But just in case, we're going to do that. The other thing too is if you have burp still enabled, you're going to want to go ahead and disconnect it. You can do that one of two ways at this point. Because remember, if I try to do anything on this page, burp is going to hold that request. And we don't want that to happen anymore, right? We're done using burp for what we need it for. We're good to just go ahead and disable it and just run with what we're doing. And there's really two primary ways of doing it. You can just disable Foxy Proxy so that the traffic is no longer routed through Burp Suite, or you can jump over to Burp Suite and you can just turn the intercept off. And essentially what that means when you turn the intercept off on Burp Suite, it means that the traffic is still going to go through Burp, but it's not going to be held up, right? It's going to go from point A to point B without ever stopping in the middle, which that middle is Burp. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and just disable Foxy, and then I'm going to click away, and then I'm going to jump up to that URL. And again, we have the Natas 4. Let's go ahead and just replace that 4 with 5, and we'll hit enter. Give it a second to load, and then we're going to get that pop up for the username and password. Remember, the username is always going to be the name of the level you're progressing towards. So in this case, it is Natas 5. And then we're going to go ahead and jump down into that password, and we are going to paste that in, and we're going to hit sign in. And you can see here immediately we are now, according to the URL, we are on the correct level. So it looks like the credential did work. So again, I'm going to start breaking these videos down into independent videos. It looks like we're almost at 10 minutes for this video already. I don't want to have these huge long videos where you're working through. So you'll just be able to jump over to the next video whenever that does get released, which is going to be Natas 5. Like I said, if you are finding that you're a little bit lost with Burp Suite, or maybe you're running into some technical issues, give me a best description that you can in the comments section below, and I will try to either respond directly to your comment, or if it justifies making another video for and kind of doing a walkthrough on how to solve that issue, I can certainly do that as well. Other than that, if you do like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. It goes a very long way, and I will catch you in the next video.